Okay, so today we're going to do lesson 13.6 on partitioning shapes. And first we're going to watch this visual learning animation together. So I'm going to start it now.
Look at the first circle. Are these shares equal? Yes, there are two equal shares. These shares are halves. These are not equal shares. These shares are not halves. Which rectangle shows equal shares?
Select your answer.
Well, in this rectangle, these two pieces look pretty skinny, but this one is very wide. So I don't believe these are equal. In this rectangle, all three pieces look to be the same size, so equal.
In the first rectangle, there are three equal shares. These shares are thirds. These are not equal shares. These shares are not thirds. Look at the first circle. Are these shares equal?
Are they all the same size and shape?
Yes, there are four equal shares. These shares are fourths. These are not equal shares. These shares are not fourths.
All right, your turn.
You can show equal shares in different ways. What is the same about all of these squares?
Well, let's see. This square has been divided into four little squares, and they all look to be the same size, right? This one, they drew these two lines and divided it into four triangles that are all the same size. This one, they drew these lines straight down and divided it into four tall, skinny rectangles. And this way, they drew the three lines across and divided it into long rectangles going the other way. But they're all equal shares and they all show fourths.
They are all divided into four equal shares.
Each share is a fourth of the square.
Now you know how you can divide circles and rectangles into halves, thirds, and fourths.
All right, so we're going to go to your pages for the day. So you all have these in your red math folder. Whoops, let me shrink that back down a little bit. So I want you to get that out, get it ready. We're going to look at the top here. It says, are these shares equal? Two equal shares. These shares are halves. So they've divided the circle and both sides are exactly the same, which makes them equal shares. This is not equal shares. These shares are not halves. This one's a little tiny piece and this one's a great big piece. Same thing with a rectangle. Are these shares equal? Well, these look to be all the same size to me, but this is like the one we just saw in the video, correct? And they are not thirds. They are not equal shares. And then here's the circle they did in the video. These are not fourths. They are not equal shares. These are. So down here it says, convince me. Show this rectangle with three equal shares. How many thirds are in the whole rectangle? So I want you to take your pencil and see if you can divide that rectangle into three pieces that are the same size. You can do that now. How many lines did you have to draw to make 3 equal shares? Only 2. If you draw 3 lines, you make 4 equal shares. So you're only going to draw 2 lines. You would draw one maybe about right here, and then you come over here and draw one about right here. Okay, so number 1 says, show each square in halves. Show 4 different ways. So you can see, you can go diagonal and make halves. You can go straight down. You could go diagonal the other direction, or you could go straight across. Each one still has halves, 2 equal shares. Tell what part of the whole each equal square is. Write half of, a third of, or a fourth of. All right, so let's look at the first one together. How many equal shares did they create by drawing these black lines? 1, 2, 3, 4. So one part would be a fourth of the whole. So on this line, you're going to write fourth of. Now I want you to try to do this one and tell me what one equal share is called, and do this one and tell me what one of these equal shares is called. On this page, you're going to find 2 different ways to make 3 equal shares here, and 2 different ways to make 4 equal shares here, and 2 different ways to make 2 equal shares here. And then you're going to complete these sentences. Each share is how much of the whole. And then you're going to tell me how many pieces the whole thing has once you've divided it. So I want you to finish page 583 and 584 for this lesson 13.6. You can get to work on that.